Alright, you guys, you know what this means. Let's get started. Trying to think about what else to talk about. And, hell, why don't we just talk about, you know, some of my favorite animes. We only have 8 packs, guys, so we're going to talk about 8 animes. And since this is going to be like a rapid-fire thing, I won't go too much into detail, since one of these animes I haven't watched since I was a teenager, since they took it off of Toonami several decades ago. But yeah, so starting off, let's just do that one. And back then, in the early 2000s, a lot of you remember Toonami. Oh, Toonami was great. I discovered Toonami when they had Sailor Moon on, Tenchi Muyo, Outlaw Star, Dragon Ball Z, and yeah, so Outlaw Star was one of my top favorite. I think there was only one season that they did of that, because that's all that they showed on Toonami. Outlaw Star just had great animation. Like, the colors were darker. The story, I mean, I don't really remember what this... I know Melfina was an android who was being pursued by this other android, I think by another rival faction. The main hero was trying to collect canisters, which were like bullets, and 2 of them, I think, could claim his life, or sheer half of his life. I don't remember much about it. I just remember being cool and Melfina being a babe. And I think there was a strange samurai lady and a cat girl or something, but I wasn't into cat girls back then. This one, Toad School, Rotom, Chansey, Pachirisu, Picnic Basket, Bomberder. We have Switch. We have a Drowsy. I don't know if I got that one. And Sizzler. Whatever the hell. And another one that was on Toonami that I fell in love with, that I had really never watched before, except for seeing one brief moment back when I was really young, like maybe 13, was Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon was on Toonami. I don't think they did from the early Sailor Moon up. So like the Doom Tree, the Diamond Tree, the Diamond folks, Rubius, and all that stuff, they didn't do those. They did Sailor Moon S and Sailor Moon Super. And the one thing that I loved, I mean, it's Sailor Moon. I love that old style of animation. I will always love that. The thing I love about Sailor Moon, of course, it's hot babes in skirts and everything, but the one that I fell in love with the most was Sailor Saturn, because her story was just so good and powerful. And what makes me mad is how much that they changed from, you know, Sailor Uranus and Neptune not having a relationship but being cousins. Well, they were kissing cousins, and that was the joke. And then when you got to Super Sailor Moon wasn't that great. I mean, it was kind of stupid, hokey, you know, it revolved around Chibi Moon, which I get. The one thing that they cut out was the ending, where I forget what her name is. That's not the Nega Moon, whatever her name was. Helena? I think that was her name. When she went really crazy and like captured Tuxedo Mask and everything, and yeah, that was a dark scene. Very dark scene. But they never went into Sailor Stars, which is kind of something they would be really hard to, you know, change up a little bit. You have these 3 guys turning into girls, which was awesome. So kudos to Sailor Moon. Sailor Moon in the beginning. Let's see, this one, Raylo, Go-Goat. This one, I have a Judge, Futzel, the Dene. Huh. I have a Miradon. It's not a bad looking card. I think we don't have that one. I think it's one of their rare illustration ones. I'll go to the side. And what I love, the original Sailor Moon, the first starting out, is long. I mean, my God, is it long. And I think you can buy them all now. I got mine bootlegged, so I have all of them, except for Sailor Crystal. I will refuse to watch Sailor Crystal. That is horrible, ugly-ass animation. F Sailor Moon Crystal. Fuck Sailor Moon. I might as well just say fuck Sailor Moon Crystal. That is not Sailor Moon. Okay. Another one on Toonami, but I had watched this when I was actually a kid. Not a preteen, a kid, because it used to come on 51, like at 6 o'clock in the morning, was Dragon Ball Z. Oh yeah. Dragon Ball Z. But when Fox got rid of it, they had stopped when Goku was fighting King Ginyu. But I think that they didn't have the dubs at that point, so they probably didn't have any more to show at that point. I don't know, I'm just speculating here. But what I loved about Dragon Ball Z is that when I got back into it, I was in school, in high school, and two of my friends, Brandon and Vito, they were talking about Cell and the androids. And I was like, well, what about happened to those guys on that planet and everything? Like, dude, you are way behind. I mean, he beat Frieza, Garlic Jr., and now the androids, Cell. Yeah, I think they were up into Majin Buu at that point. I mean, the American version. What I love... Okay, so Dragon Ball came on to Cartoon Network. It was okay. I didn't really care much for Dragon Ball. It's more of the nostalgia and everything of how Dragon Ball Z got started. Dragon Ball Z is great. I really didn't care much for the Majin Buu series. The only thing I cared about Majin Buu was Super Saiyan 3, which is actually my favorite evolution of the Saiyan race. Dragon Ball GT is absolute garbage. I actually didn't mind Super Saiyan 4, but the story was just stupid. And I cannot stand that animation that they did, and how Kid Goku was like the main thing. It was just so... And him giggling and laughing, that just... Ugh. I just want to vomit every time that I hear that opening intro. Ugh. And then they got the Dragon Ball Super, which was badass, because I love Beerus. He's a cat god. Hell yeah, cat gods. If you look on YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, you can find a lot of these naked Egyptian cat. I think they're Egyptian cats. I don't really know. And they've got the big muscles and everything. I'm like, that's Lord Beerus. Alright, so we got a rare candy, Fido, Dedenne, this thing, Hypno, Beach Court, this guy, Vitality Band. We have a Magnemite, and then this thing again. So yeah, Dragon Ball Z, love you. Always will. And now one that used to come on Kids WB. And a lot of you may remember Kids WB, because that's where Pokemon was for the longest time. But one that I loved beyond anything was Cardcaptor Sakura. In fact, Cardcaptor Sakura first appeared on Kids WB, and I fell in love with it. Now, there was a lot of heavy censorship. Like, the whole thing... Like, when I first started watching it, and then I got into the manga, I was like, wait a minute, there's a kid and teacher relationship. I got introduced to that. That was pretty cool. Like, he gives her a ring. But it's weird because they made her fear him in the American version. But in the Japanese version, she's in love with him. And I really didn't understand why. I thought it was some type of deep spiritual thing that maybe that Rika, I forget what her name is, but she was either his long-lost lover that was reincarnated as this girl. Because they really didn't set it up for it. It was just like, okay, this is happening. Which is fine. I don't really give a shit. I mean, it's an anime, folks. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want in an anime. But what I love about Cardcaptor Sakura was that you had all these great cards, and it just fascinated me there were so many of them. And the story between Lee and Sakura was amazing. You had Madison or Tomoyo if you go by the Japanese version. I actually prefer the Japanese version because they chopped up a lot of the stuff. Like, you saw the first episode in the American version, but after that, they kind of just scooted along, got to when Lee shows up in the episode. I think it was the Shadow card. Or no, the Thunder card, whatever the hell that it is. And then you had the Final Judgment, which was huge on Kids WB, because you were like, wait a minute, I thought the show was done, but it's not. But they didn't go into the second part of that, which was the Star cards. I don't think they had the American version of that, because that goes into really big, you know, with Sakura's brother and Yue, you know, his human form kind of having a relationship with him. It's a gay relationship. I mean, it's great. Houndor, this thing, Carp, Mite, Helm, Dog, Pig, this thing, Risu. Ooh, we got a Bayonet. Not bad. That's another one that's a special illustrated card. I don't think we have that one. I don't think. But yeah, Cardcaptor Sakura. I know I did not watch Tsubasa. I did not watch any of those. And I know there's like another Cardcaptor Sakura out there. I have not watched it, guys. And that brings back to another one that I had just mentioned, is Pokemon. I mean, hell, we're opening up Pokemon cards. We might as well talk about Pokemon. Oh, good lord. And I've told you guys over and over and over again. I discovered Pokemon because I used to collect, well, not collect, I used to buy the Disney adventure books. And there used to be an advertisement, sorry. Yeah, I'm listening to Harry Potter right now, so I'd say advertisement. But the advertisement for Pokemon. And Pokemon was getting pretty big. The very first episode of Pokemon that I ever watched on Kids WB was Problem with Paris. Like, I've said that. And I absolutely loved it. The animation is just... It's good. It got better over time, and then when they got to Sun and Moon, it just turned into a shit show. Those things under Ash's eyes look like he's got hair underneath his eyes. He looked more childish instead of more grown up. I don't understand why they just didn't have Ash grow up. Freaking hell. And I'm sorry, Pikachu at that point should have been like level 100, destroyed every other Pokemon within Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, whatever the hell, how far they went with it. But, you know, when they gave Ash the win, but that wasn't Ash's point. He wanted to become a Pokemon Master. You don't become a Pokemon Master by winning championships. That's why I love Red. Red accomplished everything. But then when they brought Pokemon, they did Kids WB. They started over from the beginning, which was great. There's several episodes that you still cannot get. It's the Dratini episode and the Porygon, Soldier Porygon, which is kind of stupid. They could put them all together. Now, give me the Japanese version. I want all of them together. I just want the Japanese version. I don't want the American version, but that's all you can get right now. Pawmi, this thing, Magneton, Katie, Staraptor, Gun, Carb, Goat, this thing, and this thing. Yeah, Pokemon first season was great. The Master Journeys I did not mind. Advanced I liked. Johto was a little strange. Battle Frontier, I mean, I didn't really watch. I didn't even know Battle Frontier was a thing. I didn't mind Black and White. And I don't think I watched of X and Y. That a little weird. I just, you know, like Pokemon, I just wanted to play the game. And no, I have not touched Sapphire in quite some time. Other things to do right now. Other projects, so yeah. I mean, I'm not a gamer anymore, so I really don't sit down and actually play this stuff anymore. Alright, let's move on to Cartoon Network, and I think there's only one on Cartoon Network to talk about. And that is Attack on Titan, which is not on Cartoon Network anymore. When I first saw that, I'm lucky to have seen the first episode when it first came out. And I was like, Attack on Titan, what the hell is this? And, oh my god. And every meme that you see is like, you know, like, what's the biggest thing on Attack on Titan? What's in the damn cellar? For the longest time. Oh my god. There's not a dull episode. I never got to see the last season because when they brought it to Cartoon Network, my DirecTV didn't record it because the coding was different, so I didn't get to see it, which sucked. And I'm like, fuck it, I'd rather get the Japanese version anyway. But holy crap, Attack on Titan keeps you at the edge of your seat begging for more. I have not had an anime like that ever. Like, at all. I mean, Dragon Ball Z, you know, it's good, it's hokey, but it's the same shit over and over. It's like Pokemon, it's the same shit over and over again. With Attack on Titan is that each thing was different. You thought that these titans were bad, but then it turned out that they were people that they devoured. But then you find out that there's a whole other world, almost like our world, and they're like, it's like The Village. It's like Shyamalan's The Village. It's really strange, but oh my god, does it keep you on the edge of your seat? I mean, fucking hell, man. That one, this one, Potion, Weasel, this one, Tomb, Arven, Grimer, Experience Share. Yeah. Cannot wait. I mean, either I'll download them all or just get them off of eBay. I don't know. Alright, so we got two left. So what two have we not talked about? Well, one anime in particular that a lot of you have never heard of, and I will be surprised if you have, is Sorceress Stabber Orphan. Now, Orphan only had 2 seasons. It had a manga, and it had a game. Orphan was the very first PlayStation 2 game I ever played. It was at my cousin's house. And I loved it. And when I watched the series, when I got the series when Best Buy used to carry them, because there's the more serious first season, which they hype it up in the intro and everything, but there's really not a lot of fighting. It's more talking and romance. When you get to second season, it's more colorful, there's fighting, there's battles, but it's more slapstick comedy, so pick your battles there. The thing about Orphan 1, the first season, is that it's just so beautifully written. You love the characters, and it has this weird twist in, like, with Ozzy and Child Hill. I forget what his name was. Orphan's a great character. Magic, Cleo. I wish they had put the, in the manga, Orphan has a crush on Cleo's sister, Bethany? I forget what her name is. She's a hottie, though. But yeah, and the manga is so much different. I don't think they even continued much of the manga after the first season, because I don't think there is a second season manga version. I don't know. But anyway, we have Energy Retrieval, Pig, Poke, Twirl, Dog, this thing, Pepper, Dog, Lechonk, Miradon. Well, I got 2 so far. Let's see. What's the last one going to be? Give me some good luck here. What would the last anime to talk about be? Well, it's going to be another game. Actually, this anime was based on a game before it became an anime. And I remember first getting on YouTube and when the Hyperdimension fan base was on there, and people and like the fans were like, "Oh my god, I love the anime. It's so good and this and this." And I was like, I voiced in. I was like, well, you know, love the game because the game came out first. And like, oh my god, talk about a bunch of assholes on there. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you guys wouldn't have the anime without the game. And the thing is, though, this anime only had 1 season. And I mean, yes, over the years, Hyperdimension has died down. It used to come out every year. Like, there used to be a new game. They have not had a continuation since Mega Dimension. Now, people could say that, you could say that Cyber Dimension or Four Goddesses Online was a continuation. It wasn't. It had nothing to do with the storyline. And they do a lot of stupid spin-offs, but they had not had a major gameplay since, I think, 2015. So, Hyperdimension is pretty much dead at this point. It's just for kind of the hardcore fans that still remember it out of nostalgia and everything. I loved it because you had 4 girls to play with, and you could put all this armor on them. The first game from the PS3, oh my god. That is a hard, because they used to use bullets for some reason. That was like elemental bullets, and you were supposed to find the armor for them, which I still think you do. The story was too convoluted, but when they brought it back for the Vita and the PS4, you know, the storyline picked up better. Like, you found out that Artois, whatever the hell her name was, the evil woman, was actually a goddess, which was not part of the original series, I don't think. There was Gust. There was 5PB that you could only download and everything. It was really stupid. But I loved the sisters. I never played with Ram and Ram, but I loved Uni and Netgear. Netgear is one of my favorites. But yeah, it just kind of fell apart. I actually liked Hyperdimension versus Sega Hard Girls, which was actually something new, and I liked using them. I liked the storyline behind it, but it was just a spin-off. God, I don't even know. I think they've done with Shinren Kaguya. I think they've done that a couple of times, or once. But yeah, it's just sad that, Hyperdimension, which I was huge on. I mean, after Kingdom Hearts kind of let me down, because this was before 3 came out, I loved that. I loved the series, so I wanted to play more, and then they just kind of stopped, and I was like, okay, well, just like Kingdom Hearts, you know, it's just going to be a memory. Drifblim, Dog, Little, Seviper, Dial, Go, Fortress, Shroomish, this thing, and Cloth. Well, that's it, guys. Pretty much nothing good. I mean, I've got the Miradon and the Bayonet and everything. I don't know if I've got these 2. But yeah, we'll see. Pretty disappointing. But I hope you enjoyed this, guys, and you'll be looking forward to another video. I'll see you next time.